So the materials that I will be using for this project are 200 gram of medium weight yarn. So I did use 2 ball of these. This is 100 gram and I ended up using 2, and then the top was made in a size medium to large. So keep that in mind for whatever size you want to get done. I did also use a 2mm for the entire project, a measurement tape and a scissors. So this top is worked from the bottom to the top. So for that reason, we are going to start with the waistband. So for the waistband, you will be needing your waist measurement. So depending on where you want your top to actually fall, this particular top I'm making is going to fall right under the bust area, so which is basically where your waist actually starts. So depending on how long you want yours to be, you're just going to take the measurement from where you want your waist to start, because that's the measurement you will be needing for the band. So I'm going to make a slip knot, insert my crochet hook, and I'm going to go ahead and chain a total of 16, sorry, a total of 16. So after a total of 16 chains, you're going to go into the second chain from the hook with half double crochet. So right there, you're going to insert your crochet hook right into that second chain from the hook with your first half double crochet. And half double crochet is basically just yarn over, insert your crochet hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. So again, you're going to now go ahead and repeat 1 half double crochet for the entire row. So at the end of this, you should have a total of 15 half double crochet, because the chain one, the extra one that we chained, was just starting chain. So at the end of this, you're going to have a total of 15. So after the end, you're going to chain 1 and turn. So right here, we're going to start working in the back loop of this first row with half double crochet. So the back loop is actually supposed to give the band a stretch. So you're going to yarn over and right into the back loop, which is at the back, the last string at the back. You're going to go with your half double crochet, and from there you're just going to repeat 1 half double crochet in the back loop until you get to the very end of the row. So you're basically going to repeat 1 half double crochet at the very in every stitch. So at the end, you should make sure you have a total of 15 half double crochet at the end of row 2. So I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. So again, like I mentioned, you should have a total of 15. So you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to repeat row 2 all over again with 1 half double crochet in the back loop until you get to the very end of the row. So basically, this is what you're going to repeat until you have this waistband to your actual waist measurement. So the only difference is you're going to chain 1 at the beginning and make sure you turn, and then start working half double crochet in the back loop until this waistband is wide enough to go around your waist area. So again, I would also advise that you do not stretch the waistband to your waist measurement, but just let the waistband actually just falls on your waist measurement, or is the exact as your waist measurement when it's unstretched, because that is going to make it easy for you to get the top to go past your bust area. So you're going to repeat this half double crochet at the back loop until you have your desired waist measurement. So I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. Hey guys, so right here I'm back with my band. I did do a total of 15 inches, like I mentioned, 30 inches, sorry. So it's going to be, let me check this. So right now when it's folded, it's currently 15 inches, but again, because it's 2 sides, that will be 30 inches. So depending on the size you're making, it's going to be different for every size. And this is how it looks when the band is single crochet together. So after attaching the 2 ends of the band together, we are going to go ahead and go all around the waistband with single crochets. So there's basically no formula to this. You're just going to go into every available space like you see me doing with single crochets. So you're just going to go in every space with 1 single crochet until you go all around. So this single crochet is it's supposed to give you a neater band around, so you can start working on the actual pattern and the actual body of the top. So basically just go all around the borders of the band with single crochet. So I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. So coming to the beginning of the row where we started with single crochets, we are going to go right on top of the previous row with a double crochet. So the reason why I usually don't slip stitch or do whatever right there to end off a row is just because I feel like it ends up with a seam and I don't want the seam. So I usually just go right on top of the previous row with a double crochet. So right on top of that first single crochet that you did from the previous row, you're going to go right into that space with your first double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, insert your crochet hook into that first single crochet, and work your first single double crochet into that space. And from there on, you're just going to go into every single crochet from the previous row with one double crochet all around the entire band. So this is also going to be the first row for us to actually start working on the front post and the back post double crochet. So basically just one double crochet in every single crochet from the previous row. So get that done, and then we can come back and see what the next step is. So coming right at the end of the double crochet row, we are going to go ahead and start working on the actual front post pattern. So I'm just going to go right into that last single crochet space with my last single crochet. So again, we are going to start working on the front post and the back post pattern. So the pattern is worked one front post and then one back post, one front post and one back post. So for a front post double crochet, you're basically going to go inwards the actual stitch, while a back post you're going outwards, which you would see along the way. I'll also look for a easy tutorial on how you can do front post and the back post in case this is not really something if you don't understand what I'm doing. But basically for a front post double crochet, we are going to go right into that first stitch. We are going to go inwards, so we're basically inserting your crochet hook into that first space, making sure you pass your crochet hook right underneath the stitch. So basically insert your crochet hook into that first space in between, pass your crochet hook underneath the stitch, and then you're going to yarn over and just work a basic double crochet stitch. The only difference is you're going to go underneath the stitch, making sure you're passing the crochet hook to the front. That is what the front post double crochet is. I hope you guys understand. And now for the back post double crochet, you're going to yarn over and you're going to go to the opposite direction of what we just did. So the front post we went front, the back post we are going to go again. We are going to start to the front, and then we make sure we end the crochet hook to the back. Just the way the front post we started at the back and we ended at the front, it's the same thing for the back post, just the opposite of it. So right there, you're going to insert your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through like you would actually do a normal double crochet, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through the last two. So again, for a front post, you're going to yarn over, insert your crochet hook right into that first space to the next stitch. Make sure your crochet hook comes outwards to the front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through. And for a back post double crochet, again, we are going to the opposite direction. You're going to yarn over, take your crochet hook right under the stitch, and then you're going to go backwards because again it's a back post, and then you're going to grab your crochet, your yarn, and then you're going to pull through, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through again. And so you're basically going to repeat this until you get to the very beginning of this row. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is. So coming to the very end of that row, we are going to continue right on top of the previous row with the next row. And again, you're just going to go ahead and continue the front and the back post double crochet. In my case, I did end up with a back post just before I get started with the next row, which is a front post on that first stitch. So but if you do end up with a front post, I'll just suggest you just skip one stitch. It will be fine, like it's not gonna hurt anyone. You can just skip the last stitch in case you end up with two front post double crochet next to each other, because you know that's not what we're going for. We're going for one front and one back. So again, I did end up with a back post, so it's fine. But if you did end up with a front post, I'll just suggest you take that stitch out and then go into the next row with your first front post, because we're starting the row with a front post. So right there, it's actually easy for the next row because you already did the front post double crochet row once. So now it's very easy for you to just go right into that stitch and then do the front post. So you're basically going to go into the front post with the front post and into the back post with the back post. You want to keep in mind that you should do a front post where the front post is and the back post where the back post is. If not, you actually will end up with a funny pattern and you do not want that. So right here you see me going into the front post with a front post, and I'm going to go to the next stitch, which is a back post. I am going to go in there with a back post double crochet. And this is basically it for this pattern. You're going to repeat this row after row until this top is long enough to actually fit from your desired bust length to your actual top bust, which you would actually see in the next clip. So you're basically going to repeat this until you have a total of, I did a total of 10 inches plus the band. So you're going to repeat this plus the band. Currently I think this is a total of 3.5 inches. So I am going to repeat the front post and the back post pattern until this panel is it's 10 inches long. Then I'll come back and show you guys what the next step is, because now we need to fix the strap after we have the desired length. So hey guys, right here I am back with the panel. I have a total of 10 inches. Again, this is a crop bralette. So if you want to make this long, then of course you can go ahead and make this as long as you want to, but just take the measurement from your underbust, which is going to be this band, to your desire, or from your upper bust, sorry, to your desire top length. This is going to fall right underneath the on the bust area. That's what she's going for, and that is what I have done. So now this is 10 inches in total. So again, depending on the size you're going for, you're going to be, depending on the length you're going for, it's going to be different. And also keep in mind that this is very stretchy. So again, the bust measurement is a little bit bigger than the waist measurement. The reason why I did not increase was because, remember, when we did the waistband, we did the exact waist measurement when it's not stretched. So this also stretches all the way. So that was the reason why I did not increase on the upper part, the body part of this panel, because I know for sure that it's going to stretch wide enough to fit the bust measurement, to fit a bust measurement basically. So from here, we are going to go ahead and work on the straps. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to do one strap on each of the front panel, and I'm going to attach it to the back. So we're basically doing 1-2 strap, and we are going to make it long enough so we can attach it to the back of this panel. So what I usually do is I usually just work my way to the edge of one panel. So you want to make sure that this, let me see, for example, so you want to make sure that this seam area is at the center. You can also put this at the side, but I usually just put it at the center, the back center of the top or whatever I'm making. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and just turn my panel to the right side. So you want to make sure the seam is at the inside and at flat on the surface basically. So it's going to be the back, and while this is going to be the front. And what I usually do before I cut off my yarn and start working on the strap is I'm going to go ahead and finish this row and work my way up until the edge of this panels, because remember we did working around, there was no slip stitch at the end or chain anything at the beginning. So for that reason we are working around, so I always just make sure I go to the side just to end off the row, because this side is going to be underneath your armpit, so there is no way this is going to be visible. So that's one of the best that is one of the things I do when I walk on around. So basically just going to work my way up until I get to the edge of this panel. So now that I am at the edge, I'm going to go ahead and turn, because we are going to work our way inwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn, and what I'm going to do from here on is I'm going to repeat the front and the back post double crochet pattern, but this time around I'm going to be decreasing just so we can have this V kind of thing going on at the strap. So what I'm going to do is right here I did my last front post, So I'm going to skip that and I'm going to go into this back post double crochet with a front post, because again I'm going to the opposite end, so I want to make sure I keep the front post pattern where the front post is, and I want to make sure I keep the back post where the back post is. Let me zoom in a little. So from here on, because this is a front post, because this is a back post, I'm going to go into the back with my first double crochet. So again, this that we just skipped is going to be the first decrease, and for me I'm going to go into this back post with a back post double crochet. And because this one is facing me, I'm going to go in here with a front post, and because this one is not facing me, I'm going to go in there with a back post, again with a front post, and I'm going to go into the next with a back post, and I'm just going to do this for a total of let me think, depending on how wide you want the strap to be. So I'm just going to go on and do this a few stitches until I have the width of until I have how wide I want my strap to be. Basically, I cannot talk sometimes. So you're basically just going to front post and back post. If the stitch is facing you, that means you have to do a front post, and if it's not, that means you have to do a back post double crochet. So right there, I think my strap a little bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna go into this next, into this next, into this next, and into this next. So this is what it looks like at this point. So because we decreased there, I'm going to go ahead and do another decrease to end of this. So basically I did 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. So I'm basically going to do 20 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and decrease this 19th and this 20th stitch together, just so we have a complete decrease and we have an even number. So again, I'm just going to go into this back post, double crochet right there, and I'm going to go into the front. So because we're decreasing, I'm going to go into the back. So yarn over, insert your crochet hook into the back like you're going to do a back post, but you're not going to, you're just going to go right into the front again, so we can decrease these two together. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So right there I have the decrease. So I'm going to turn this over because we are going to go ahead and decrease again. So again, for the next decrease, you're going to skip this stitch and we're going to go into this. So this two, it looks like two stitch, but this is actually one because we did decrease very oddly, but that is going to be one. So I'm going to skip that and I'm going to go into this first with my front post. So again, because this stitch is facing me, I'm going to go there with a front post, and I'm going to go into the next with a back post because it's not facing me, into the next with a front post, into the next with a back post, and I'm going to repeat this until I get to the very end of the stitch. So right here I have my front post and my last stitch. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to skip this front post and I'm going to go into this last stitch with the front post. So you're basically going to skip this, which is also going to be another way to decrease. The reason why I'm skipping instead of decreasing both together is because after I did the two decrease on the side, it kind of did not look the way I wanted to. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this stitch instead. And also because I did back post as my last stitch, I'm going to go ahead and do front post on this last stitch because I did skip my front post. So I'm going to go right into that with a front post double crochet. Basically a double crochet because at the edge you can hardly tell if it's a front post or not. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my work, and from here on I'm going to go into this first stitch with the front post because again the stitch is facing me, and from here I'm going to go with back post, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 So right here I have 1 2. So again, because I'm going to skip this because that's what I did at the other stitch, so I'm going to skip this and I'm going to go into this last one with my double crochet right there. So I'm going to do one more decrease because I want to make sure I have 10 front post and back double crochet before I start working on the slip, the actual strap. So this is just going to be a decrease to give the top of a shape of kind of a square shape. So from here again, I'm going to go into this first stitch with a front post. So again, you can also, like you see, I've on the last row I was counting my stitches just to make sure I have 10 at the end. So right there I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and right here I'm gonna go into this last one with my 10th back post double crochet. So right there we have 10. So from here on, this means we are not going, so basically this means we are not going to go ahead and decrease again. So at the beginning of each row from here on, we are going to chain 1 and turn, because now we are just going to go ahead and do front post double crochet. So I'm going to go into this first front post with a front post, and into the back I'm going to go with the back post, and I'm going to just repeat this until I get to the end of the row. So at the end I should have a total of 10 double crochet, which is 5 front post and 5 back post double crochet. Like that. And this is how it looks. So I'm actually just going to chain 1 and continue this until my strap is long enough to go to the back. So you have to also keep in mind that this stitch is very stretchy, so depending on how loose or how tight you want the strap to be, it might be different. So I'm just going to continue this front post pattern and back post pattern until I have enough, my strap is long enough, and I'm going to attach the yarn on the opposite side, and I'm going to repeat the same thing I did with decreasing as well, and I'll come back and show you guys how we are going to attach the straps to the back of the panel. So right here I have the straps complete. I am just going to make sure I laid the panel flat on the surface just to make sure I have the strap laying flat and the top laying flat. So right here you can see that I'm just trying to find a way of where I'm going to attach the strap to the back, because you want to make sure there is a space between the first the front and the back, because it has to be around your armpit area, so you want to have enough room to be able to lift up your arm in case. So that is just me just trying to figure out where I'm going to actually start single crocheting the strap together. Again, there is really no pattern for this. You're just going to just watch and see what I'm doing, or even try on the top and decide where you want the strap to actually attach. You can also add a stitch marker to it, but this is just me trying to figure out where I want it to be. I think I did kind of skip like 20 stitches between the front and the back, but again, like I said, I really have no pattern for this. Depending on different sizes, I'm just doing what I usually would do. So you're just going to right there make sure you're going to attach the strap to the opposite end, because you want to make sure when you single crochet the strap to the top, the seam area is going to be inwards and not outwards, because you don't want the seam to be outwards. So right there I'm just going to start single crocheting it together. So as you can see, I did turn the strap inwards just because I didn't want to turn the entire top inwards, but I think that's the easiest way for you to, if you want to do that, then feel free to. So this is just me making sure that the seam area is going to be inwards when I start single crocheting both of them together. So you're just going to make sure that you actually just single crochet this together. Like I mentioned, you can also sew this with a needle or even slip stitch both together, but I'd always do single crochet because I feel like it just gives me a nicer finishing compared to the other two. So I'm just going to make sure I single crochet each stitch together just so it's flat at the end of me single crocheting everything together. So just take your time and do so, and afterwards I'm just going to cut off the yarn, sew in all the loose end, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side as well. I'm going to make sure I count the same amount and keep the same space around the armpit area when I attach the neck strap to the back of the top, basically. So I'm gonna get that done, and that is actually it for this tutorial, guys. So this is what it looks like. So you're going to make sure you do the same thing on the opposite side, but let me turn this so you guys can have a look. So this is what it looks like. I absolutely love this top. I feel like this is the perfect bralette for the summer coming. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side, and that is basically it for this tutorial, guys. You can also go ahead and single crochet around the borders just so you can have a nice finishing, just to give it a more neater finishing. That is obviously optional. If your work is already neat, then you really don't have to do that. So I'm just going to repeat this and I'll come back with the final result, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and just start single crocheting these two together. So I'm going to grab the panel and just single crochet together nicely. So guys, this is the final top. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any questions, of course, feel free to drop them down in the comment, and then I'll make time and to answer the questions. And if you have any um comment as well, feel free to do so. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I guess I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.